ensure that your mentee has access to the career and education goal planning worksheet prior to having this conversation.
My name is Mirza and I work for the University of Central Asia. Today I will talk about the job market in Central Asia. With a total population of 92 million people, Central Asia boasts near universal literacy and rich natural resources. However, natural resources among the countries of the region distributed not equally. For example, the economy of Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan and Turkmenistan are heavily dependent on energy resources, while the economy of Afghanistan, Kyrgyzstan, Mongolia and Tajikistan mainly based on agriculture and the mining industry. Job market in Central Asia is extremely limited because colleges and universities in Central Asia are not able to produce professionals with needed market skills due to inherited Soviet university curriculum and centralized university management. Therefore, after graduation, students from Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan and Tajikistan, they go to Russia and Kazakhstan to find a job because education in these countries is not linked to the job market. And the educated do not understand the role of higher education institutions in the region, role of higher education in improving job opportunity for younger generation, role of higher education institutions in developing human capital for Central Asia and global market.
As a mentor, it's really important that you understand the university application process in Central Asia. To get accepted to a university in Central Asia, you have to do one of two things. Firstly, in Kyrgyzstan and Kazakhstan, students have to write a mandatory national test in their final year of high school. How they do on this national test will determine whether or not they're eligible to attend university and will also determine whether or not they get accepted to their first choice of university. Secondly, in Tajikistan, students have to write an admissions test if they choose to apply to university. This test is not mandatory. This test is the sole determinant of whether or not they get admitted into their university of choice. There's three big problems with these approaches to university admissions. Firstly, applicants are evaluated on a single test score that says little about the applicant overall and as a person. Secondly, the manner in which national tests are evaluated isn't always transparent and clear. Often, test officials accept bribes in exchange for better results on admissions tests and national tests. Thirdly, the grade level of national and admissions tests are quite low and often do not adequately measure how well prepared students are for university. Only a few universities in Central Asia choose to take a different approach to admitting students. UCA is one of them. UCA's application process is extremely rigorous and also different in a number of ways. First of all, the UCA admissions test has been designed specifically for the Central Asian learner and against international standards. There are three components of UCA's admissions test. There is an English component, a mathematics component, and a logical reasoning component. All of these components have been designed specifically to measure how well prepared students are for university in Central Asia, but these components also consider the current level high school students are at in Central Asia. A first group of students is shortlisted based on meeting a minimum score in each of the test components on UCA's admissions test. These first set of students who are shortlisted will be then invited for a video interview. UCA's application process is different because it considers more than just a test score, because we believe that a student is more than just a number. UCA's application will ask for detailed extracurricular information to gauge what the student has accomplished in their communities and outside the classroom. In addition, students will be invited for a video interview, and they will be asked to fill a short personal statement on the application that asks about their interests as well as their ambitions. Only shortlisted applicants will be asked to attend a video interview, which will be conducted by a UCA staff member, and will be evaluated based on the extracurricular factors that I mentioned earlier. UCA will exercise a high level of integrity when it selects its students. It will do this by maintaining very detailed records of admissions and selections decisions that have been made. This is in order to keep a detailed audit trail that will be revisited constantly in order to determine if an admissions decision has been justified. In addition, UCA's admissions committee will be comprised of individuals who will represent each of the 3 partner countries. This includes Tajikistan, Kazakhstan, and Kyrgyzstan, and will include admissions committee members of both sexes. This will ensure that there is no bias towards any particular kind of applicant. Finally, we recognize that there are inherent differences among applicants who apply to UCA. For example, students who apply from urban centers tend to have a higher quality secondary education relative to students from more remote and rural parts of Central Asia. What this means is that UCA must recognize this reality and will ensure that the geographic location of each of our applicants are considered when making admissions decisions. It is important to UCA that each student is evaluated based on their potential relative to the educational resources that they have at their disposal. At the end of the day, making sure disadvantaged students have access to the education that UCA will offer is one of our highest priorities.
Talk to your mentee about dorm life. Think back and share experiences from your time on residence. For example, when I first arrived at school, I was terrified that I wouldn't find anyone else to hang out with, because I knew absolutely no one. I was surprised, therefore, at how quickly I became part of a close-knit group of friends, almost all of whom lived in my residence. The 5-year housing system that will be used at UCA will certainly have its advantages, as the students will have upperclassmen to ask advice from, to help with tough problems, and just to socialize with. Living under the same roof with so many different types of people truly allows an individual to see the world from a new perspective. You will meet many of your best friends just through your dorm experience. One of the best things about it is that there are so many students going through the same experience at the same time, so everyone tries to be really supportive and friendly. Another benefit of dorm living is that a student can worry less about living arrangements and concentrate more on school. There are plenty of people around for company, and classes are just a short walk away. Just about everything a student needs for living is readily available to them. Make sure to share your exam preparation tips with your mentee. For many people, exam time is the most stressful part of the year. With so much riding on the outcome, there can be a high degree of pressure to do well. The following is an exam preparation guide that you can share with your mentee. The earlier you start, the more time you will have to prepare for the exam. Make sure all of your course material is well organized so you can find and fill any gaps. If you miss any classes, get the notes from your friends right away, instead of scrambling to find them at the last minute. Proper organization will help you get a better picture of the material that has to be covered and improve the flow of your study process. As the exam nears, you will need to create a study plan. Ask yourself the following questions. How much material do you need to cover? How difficult is the material? How much time is available? Do you have any other priorities during the exam period? What is the format of the exam? How important is the exam? What is your performance target for the exam?
Hey UCA mentors, a conversation about academic life and life on campus has to include a section on leaving home. Leaving home is not easy. Homesickness, loneliness, stress, and anxiety are all common feelings among first-year university students. Even for the happiest, healthiest, and most self-confident students, university transition can be a tricky time. There's the stress of a heavier workload, and many people leave behind boyfriends, girlfriends, and family, unsure how to manage all these close relationships from school. There are roommates who smell and mean professors who make us miss our stuffed animal collection on our childhood bed. Homesickness is also particularly common among first years. The first few days of the freshman year can be an opportune time for homesickness to strike. Still, certain people are able to move past these feelings more easily than others. Those who have spent significant amounts of time away from home before, for example at sleepaway camp, are generally better prepared for university than those who haven't. Here are a few tips for your mentee. Before leaving, resolve family issues. Clear the air of family drama and enter university ready to make some solid bonds. Start practicing healthy habits. University students aren't especially well known for their health habits. If possible, Prepare for university by establishing a regular sleep-wake schedule the summer before heading off. Same goes for learning how to make healthy choices when it comes to fitness, nutrition, and tending to your mental health. Be productive about making friends. Almost everyone who signed up for a random roommate worries at some point that the new companion will be a total jerk or slob or party animal or nerd or a meanie. Consider contacting the new roommate beforehand. Find out what you two have in common so there's something to bond over on move-in date. It might also be a good idea to check out any social media pages for incoming first years, so there will be at least a few familiar faces on campus.
Frequently asked questions. What if, after my 6 conversations are over, I would like to continue communicating with my mentee? Am I allowed? If you choose to communicate with your mentee after the 6 UCA mandated conversations have been successfully completed, you may do so. This would then constitute a personal relationship between you and your mentee. 2. What if my mentee would like me to speak with or mentor a friend or sibling? Can I? You must complete your UCA-sponsored mentorship program requirements. If after that you choose to speak or mentor someone else, that is up to you. These conversations will no longer be under UCA's jurisdiction. 3. If I have friends who are doing the same program that my mentee is interested in, am I allowed to put them in touch, or put them in touch with my professors, schools, or programs in my area? As long as you complete your 6 UCA mandated conversations, you are free to assist them in any other capacity, including introducing them to people that may also be able to assist them or any other relevant resources. 4. Are we allowed to offer opinions on matters pertaining to their personal lives, i.e. relationships, parental, siblings, boyfriend, girlfriend, etc.? Personal matters are best handled in person. You should recommend that your mentee find a friend or adult with whom they can discuss these matters, but offer support where needed. 5. What if my mentee tells me something that I feel will affect their future at university, but they ask me not to tell, i.e. substance abuse, excessive drinking, etc.? You should recommend that your mentee get help for their issues before committing to spending the next 3 to 5 years at a learning facility. Also remember that you are not professionally qualified to help them in these matters. Ensuring mentor and mentee safety. The intention of the UCA mentorship program is to foster meaningful and professional relationships between mentors and mentees. We hope that your mentee will feel comfortable discussing their successes and challenges with you throughout the program. However, your mentee may confide personal or sensitive issues to you. If you are concerned about your mentee's physical, emotional, or mental well-being at any time, you can contact the UCA mentorship program leads, azardauji@gmail.com or Karima Pirani at raqasa@rogers.com. If at any point in the program you as a mentor feel uncomfortable with your relationship with your mentee, face serious conflict, or perceive that your safety and security is being jeopardized, please contact the UCA program leads. All information related to the UCA program leads will remain confidential, and appropriate measures will be taken as required.